On August 15, 1977, something happened that would haunt scientists for decades. A radio telescope detected a signal from space so strange, so powerful, that when astronomer Jerry Ehman saw it on the printout, he couldn't believe his eyes. He grabbed a red pen and scribbled one word that would become legendary. Wow! That signal lasted exactly 72 seconds, then vanished forever. Despite countless attempts to find it again, it never returned. Today, nearly 50 years later, nobody can explain what it was or where it came from. To understand why this signal was so shocking, we need to go back to 1977. The Big Ear Radio Observatory in Ohio was part of SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Every night, this massive telescope scanned the skies, listening for signals that might indicate intelligent life beyond Earth. The process was simple but tedious. The telescope collected data, computers printed it out on long sheets of paper, and volunteers would review these printouts days later, looking for anything unusual. Dr. Jerry Ehman was one of those volunteers. A few days after August 15th, he was sitting at his desk, going through stacks of computer printouts like he'd done hundreds of times before, row after row of numbers and letters, mostly showing nothing but cosmic background noise. But then, something caught his eye, a sequence that made his heart stop, 6EQUJ5. Now, this might look random to you, but to an astronomer, this code tells a story. Each character represents the intensity of the signal received. The scale goes from 1 to 9, then continues with letters. A typical background noise reads as 1 or 2, but this sequence, it started at 6, jumped to E, which represents 14, peaked at U, which is 30, then descended back down. This signal was 30 times stronger than the background noise of space. But intensity alone wasn't what made Ehman grab his red pen. The signal lasted exactly 72 seconds, which matched perfectly with the telescope's observation window as Earth rotated. It came from a narrow frequency band, precisely 1420 megahertz. And here's why that number matters. 1420 megahertz is the natural frequency of hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe. Scientists call it the cosmic water hole, because any intelligent civilization would know to broadcast or listen at this frequency. It's like a universal meeting point, a frequency that says, if you're looking for us, look here. Ehman circled the sequence, wrote "wow" in the margin, and immediately knew he'd found something extraordinary. This wasn't random noise. This wasn't interference. This was a signal unlike anything ever detected before. So what made the wow signal so different from everything else we've ever detected? Let's break down the three characteristics that keep scientists up at night. First, the origin. The signal came from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, from a spot in space with no known stars, no catalogued planets, nothing remarkable at all, just empty space, or so we thought. When scientists tried to observe that exact location again, they found nothing. The signal had come from nowhere and returned to silence. Over the years, astronomers have pointed telescopes at that precise spot dozens of times, using increasingly powerful equipment. Every single time, they found nothing but cosmic silence. Second, the technical characteristics. This is where things get really interesting. The signal had what scientists call a narrow bandwidth, meaning it was focused on a very specific frequency, just like a radio station. Natural cosmic phenomena, like pulsars or quasars, typically broadcast across a wide range of frequencies. They're messy and scattered. But artificial signals created by technology, are narrow and precise. The wow signal was narrow. It also didn't behave like any satellite or aircraft. Satellites move, their signals drift in frequency due to the Doppler effect. This signal stayed locked on 1420 megahertz. It passed every single test designed to filter out human-made interference. And third, the mystery that haunts every scientist who studies it. Why didn't it repeat? Think about it. If you wanted to contact another civilization, would you broadcast once and never again? If it was a natural phenomenon, why haven't we detected it a second time? Real astronomical events repeat. Pulsars pulse regularly. Quasars continue to shine. Gamma-ray bursts happen again and again across the universe. But the WOW signal appeared once for 72 seconds and vanished forever. It's like receiving a phone call from an unknown number. The phone rings once, you hear something on the other end, and then it disconnects. You try to call back, but the number doesn't exist. You wait for them to call again, but they never do. That's the WOW signal. One message, if it even was a message, from somewhere in the cosmos, never to be heard from again. So if the signal was real, and it clearly was, what could possibly explain it? Over the decades, scientists have proposed several theories. Let's look at the three main contenders. Theory number 1, an alien civilization. This is the explanation that captured everyone's imagination. The evidence supporting it is compelling. The frequency was perfect, exactly where you'd expect an intelligent species to broadcast. The signal was narrow band, characteristic of artificial transmission. The intensity suggested enormous power, the kind of power needed to send a message across light years of space. If you were designing a signal to grab the attention of other civilizations, the WOW signal is pretty much what you'd create. But here's the problem. There was no repetition. Science requires repeatability. One data point isn't evidence, it's an anomaly. Without a second detection, without any follow-up signal, we can't confirm anything. It's possible, sure, but scientifically, we need more data, and that data never came. Theory number 2, an unknown natural phenomenon. The universe is full of surprises. We've discovered pulsars, magnetars, fast radio bursts, phenomena that seemed impossible until we found them. Maybe the WOW signal was something similar, some rare cosmic event we've never seen before or since. Perhaps a neutron star doing something unusual, or matter falling into a black hole in just the right way. The universe has a track record of producing signals we don't expect. But here's where this theory struggles. It doesn't explain the frequency. Why exactly 1420 megahertz? Why such a narrow bandwidth? Natural events don't usually pick the one frequency that screams, "This might be artificial." It's possible, but it requires a very convenient coincidence. Theory number 3, a comet. In 2017, astronomer Antonio Paris proposed something different. He suggested that the signal could have come from hydrogen clouds surrounding comets. Two comets, neither known in 1977, were later discovered to have passed through that region of space around the same time. When comets travel through space, they're surrounded by massive clouds of hydrogen gas. Could these clouds have produced the signal? Paris believed so. But most astronomers rejected this explanation. The problem is that comets were well-known phenomena even in 1977. If comets produced signals like this, we should have detected thousands of them by now. We haven't. The characteristics of the WOW signal don't quite match what we'd expect from a comet's hydrogen cloud. It's an interesting idea, but it creates more questions than it answers. So there you have it. 3 theories. An alien transmission that never repeated, a natural phenomenon that happened to look artificial, or a comet that behaved unlike any comet signal we've ever seen. None of them are perfect. None of them fully explain what happened on August 15th, 1977. The WOW signal remains exactly what it's always been, unexplained. You might think that after discovering something this significant, scientists would immediately point every telescope on Earth at that spot and listen, and you'd be right. They did exactly that. In 1987 and 1989, astronomers conducted intensive follow-up observations of the same region in Sagittarius. They used the same telescope, the same frequency, searching for any trace of the signal. They found nothing. Absolute silence. In 1995 and 1996, they tried again with improved equipment and longer observation times. Still nothing. The signal had vanished as mysteriously as it had appeared, but the search didn't stop there. In 2012, on the 35th anniversary of the WOW signal, humanity did something bold. We sent a response. A crowdsourced collection of messages from people around the world was beamed toward that same spot in space, using the Arecibo radio telescope. It was symbolic, a way of saying, if you're out there, We heard you, and we're listening. Of course, even if something received our message, we wouldn't hear a response for decades or centuries, depending on how far away they are. Between 2017 and 2020, astronomers used modern radio telescopes, far more sensitive than Big Ear ever was, to scan that region again. They looked not just at the exact spot, but at surrounding areas, thinking maybe the source had moved, or maybe we'd miscalculated the original position. They expanded the search, listening across multiple frequencies, using techniques that didn't exist in 1977. The result? Zero. Not a whisper, not a hint, nothing. And here's what makes this so frustrating for scientists. Science depends on repeatability. An experiment that works once but never again isn't science. It's an anecdote. The wow signal exists in this strange limbo. It's documented. It's real. The data is there for anyone to examine. But without a second detection, it can't be studied. It can't be analyzed further. It can't be confirmed. It's one piece of evidence that proves nothing but suggests everything. The perfect scientific mystery. So why does the wow signal still matter almost 50 years later? Why do we still talk about 72 seconds of data from 1977? Because it represents something profound. For many scientists, the wow signal was their inspiration to enter astronomy, to join SETI, to dedicate their lives to searching for life beyond Earth. It showed that the search isn't futile, that something out there, whether natural or artificial, can surprise us in ways we never expected. It proved that the universe still has the power to astonish us. The signal also reminds us of the limits of human knowledge. We like to think we understand the cosmos, that our telescopes can see everything, that our equations can explain anything. But the wow signal is a humbling reminder that we don't know everything. There are phenomena out there that we can't categorize, can't reproduce, can't explain, and maybe that's okay. Maybe the universe is supposed to keep some secrets. Culturally, the wow signal has become a symbol. It's been referenced in movies, books, and music. It's appeared in documentaries and inspired countless works of science fiction. When people think of SETI, when they imagine what first contact might look like, many picture something like the wow signal, a brief, powerful message from the depths of space. It's become part of our collective imagination, a modern mystery that captures something fundamental about the human spirit, our need to explore, to question, to reach out into the darkness and ask, is anyone there? But perhaps the most important thing about the wow signal is the questions it forces us to ask. Are we alone in the universe? If we're not alone, would we even recognize contact if it happened? Are we listening carefully enough? Are we looking in the right places? And maybe the biggest question of all, if someone out there is trying to reach us, will we be ready to answer? The wow signal doesn't give us answers. Instead, it gives us better questions. And sometimes that's more valuable. So here we are, nearly 50 years later, 72 seconds, one signal, one moment in 1977 that changed everything and nothing at the same time. The wow signal is either the most important discovery we've never been able to confirm or the most fascinating coincidence in the history of astronomy. And the truth is, we may never know which one it is. Was it a greeting from another civilization, a deliberate attempt to say, we're here? Was it nature playing tricks on us? Some rare cosmic event that looked artificial by pure chance? Or was it something else entirely, something we haven't even thought of yet? The answer is out there, somewhere in the direction of Sagittarius, locked in the silence of space. What do you think? Do you believe it was aliens trying to contact us? A natural phenomenon we don't understand? Or something completely different? Leave your theory in the comments below. And if you enjoyed diving into this mystery, hit that subscribe button, because the universe has plenty more secrets to share. And we're just getting started. Remember this, somewhere out there, something transmitted a signal powerful enough to travel across the vastness of space and reach us here on Earth. Whether it was intelligence or nature, whether it was intentional or accidental, someone or something said hello. We heard it, we documented it, we've been listening ever since. The question is, will they ever say it again?